1 Kings 21. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, next to the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. And it came to pass after these things, that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard, which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab king of Samaria. So Ahab spoke to Naboth, saying, Give me your vineyard, that I may have it for a vegetable garden, because it is near, next to my house, and for it I will give you a vineyard better than it. Or, if it seems good to you, I will give you its worth in money. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it, or, if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. But Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid that I should give the inheritance of my fathers to you. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. So Ahab went into his house sullen and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him, for he had said, I will not give you the inheritance of my fathers. And he lay down on his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no food. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth the Jezreelite had spoken to him, for he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed, and turned away his face, and would eat no bread. But Jezebel his wife came to him, and said to him, Why is your spirit so sullen that you eat no food? But Jezebel his wife came to him, and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad, that thou eatest no bread? He said to her, Because I spoke to Naboth the Jezreelite, and said to him, Give me your vineyard for money, or else, if it pleases you, I will give you another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give you my vineyard. And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. Then Jezebel his wife said to him, You now exercise authority over Israel. Arise, eat food, and let your heart be cheerful, I will give you the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise, and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry, I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. And she wrote letters in Ahab's name, sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters to the elders and the nobles who were dwelling in the city with Naboth. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name, and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. She wrote in the letters, saying, For proclaim a fast, and seat Naboth with high honor among the people. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And seat 2 men, scoundrels, before him to bear witness against him, saying, You have blasphemed God and the king. Then take him out, and stone him, that he may die. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him, to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king. And then carry him out, and stone him, that he may die. So the men of his city, the elders and nobles who were inhabitants of his city, did as Jezebel had sent to them, as it was written in the letters which she had sent to them. And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were the inhabitants in his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. They proclaimed a fast, and seated Naboth with high honor among the people. They proclaimed a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. And 2 men, scoundrels, came in and sat before him, and the scoundrels witnessed against him, against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth has blasphemed God and the king. Then they took him outside the city and stoned him with stones, so that he died. And there came in 2 men, children of Belial, and sat before him, and the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blaspheme God and the king. Then they carried him forth out of the city, and stoned him with stones, that he died. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth has been stoned and is dead. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned, and is dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth had been stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give you for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned, and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money, for Naboth is not alive, but dead. So it was, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab got up and went down to take possession of the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite, to take possession of it. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying. Arise, go down to meet Ahab king of Israel, who lives in Samaria. There he is, in the vineyard of Naboth, where he has gone down to take possession of it. Arise, go down to meet Ahab king of Israel, which is in Samaria, behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. You shall speak to him, saying, Thus says the Lord, Have you murdered and also taken possession? And you shall speak to him, saying, Thus says the Lord, In the place where dogs licked the blood of Naboth, dogs shall lick your blood, even yours. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Hast thou killed, and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, In the place where dogs licked the blood of Naboth shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine. So Ahab said to Elijah, Have you found me, O my enemy? And he answered, I have found you, because you have sold yourself to do evil in the sight of the Lord. And Ahab said to Elijah, Hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Behold, I will bring calamity on you. I will take away your posterity, and will cut off from Ahab every male in Israel, both bond and free. Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. I will make your house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, because of the provocation with which you have provoked me to anger, and made Israel sin. And will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. And concerning Jezebel the Lord also spoke, saying, The dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. And of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, The dogs shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. The dogs shall eat whoever belongs to Ahab and dies in the city, and the birds of the air shall eat whoever dies in the field. Him that dieth of Ahab in the city the dogs shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat. But there was no one like Ahab who sold himself to do wickedness in the sight of the Lord, because Jezebel his wife stirred him up. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. And he behaved very abominably in following idols, according to all that the Amorites had done, whom the Lord had cast out before the children of Israel. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. So it was, when Ahab heard those words, that he tore his clothes and put sackcloth on his body, and fasted and lay in sackcloth, and went about mourning. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted, and lay in sackcloth, and went softly. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah the Tishbite, saying. See how Ahab has humbled himself before me? Because he has humbled himself before me, I will not bring the calamity in his days. In the days of his son I will bring the calamity on his house. Sayest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days, but in his son's days will I bring the evil upon his house. 1 Kings 22. Now 3 years passed without war between Syria and Israel. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. Then it came to pass, in the 3rd year, that Jehoshaphat the king of Judah went down to visit the king of Israel. And it came to pass in the 3rd year, that Jehoshaphat the king of Judah came down to the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said to his servants, Do you know that Ramoth in Gilead is ours, but we hesitate to take it out of the hand of the king of Syria? And the king of Israel said unto his servants, Know ye that Ramoth in Gilead is ours, and we be still, and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria? So he said to Jehoshaphat, Will you go with me to fight at Ramoth Gilead? Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as you are, my people as your people, my horses as your horses. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, Wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth-Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. Also Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, Please inquire for the word of the Lord today. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said to them, Shall I go against Ramoth-Gilead to fight, or shall I refrain? So they said, Go up, for the Lord will deliver it into the hand of the king. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, about 400 men, and said unto them, Shall I go against Ramoth-Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, Go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not still a prophet of the Lord here, that we may inquire of him? And Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here a prophet of the Lord besides, that we might inquire of him? So the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, There is still one man, Micaiah the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, because he does not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say such things. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, There is yet one man, Micaiah the son of Imlah, by whom we may inquire of the Lord, but I hate him, for he doth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, Let not the king say so. Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, Bring Micaiah the son of Imlah quickly. Then the king of Israel called an officer, and said, Hasten hither Micaiah the son of Imlah. The king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah, having put on their robes, sat each on his throne, at a threshing floor at the entrance of the gate of Samaria, and all the prophets prophesied before them. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah sat each on his throne, having put on their robes, in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria, and all the prophets prophesied before them. Now Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah had made horns of iron for himself, and he said, Thus says the Lord, With these you shall gore the Syrians until they are destroyed. And Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah made him horns of iron, and he said, Thus saith the Lord, With these shalt thou push the Syrians, until thou have consumed them. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth-Gilead and prosper, for the Lord will deliver it into the king's hand. And all the prophets prophesied so, saying, Go up to Ramoth-Gilead, and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the king's hand. Then the messenger who had gone to call Micaiah spoke to him, saying, Now listen, the words of the prophets with one accord encourage the king. Please, let your word be like the word of one of them, and speak encouragement. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold now, the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good. And Micaiah said, As the Lord lives, whatever the Lord says to me, that I will speak. And Micaiah said, As the Lord liveth, what the Lord saith unto me, that will I speak. Then he came to the king, and the king said to him, Micaiah, shall we go to war against Ramoth-Gilead, or shall we refrain? And he answered him, Go and prosper, for the Lord will deliver it into the hand of the king. So he came to the king. And the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth-Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, Go, and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. So the king said to him, How many times shall I make you swear that you tell me nothing but the truth in the name of the Lord? And the king said unto him, How many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord? Then he said, I saw all Israel scattered on the mountains, as sheep that have no shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let each return to his house in peace. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd, and the Lord said, These have no master, let them return every man to his house in peace. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell you he would not prophesy good concerning me, but evil? And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, Did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil? Then Micaiah said, Therefore hear the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by, on his right hand and on his left. And he said, Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who will persuade Ahab to go up, that he may fall at Ramoth-Gilead? So one spoke in this manner, and another spoke in that manner. And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth-Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Then a spirit came forward and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. And there came forth a spirit, and stood before the Lord, and said, I will persuade him. The Lord said to him, In what way? So he said, I will go out and be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, You shall persuade him, and also prevail. Go out and do so. And the Lord said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also, go forth, and do so. Therefore look. The Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets of yours, and the Lord has declared disaster against you. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. Now Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah went near and struck Micaiah on the cheek, and said, Which way did the Spirit from the Lord go from me to speak to you? But Zedekiah the son of Chenaanah went near, and smote Micaiah on the cheek, and said, Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, Indeed, you shall see on that day when you go into an inner chamber to hide. And Micaiah said, Behold, thou shalt see in that day, when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. So the king of Israel said, Take Micaiah, and return him to Amon the governor of the city and to Joash the king's son. And the king of Israel said, Take Micaiah, and carry him back unto Amon the governor of the city, and to Joash the king's son. And say, Thus says the king, Put this fellow in prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and water of affliction, until I come in peace. And say, Thus saith the king, Put this fellow in the prison, and feed him with bread of affliction and with water of affliction, until I come in peace. But Micaiah said, If you ever return in peace, the Lord has not spoken by me. And he said, Take heed, all you people. And Micaiah said, If thou return at all in peace, the Lord hath not spoken by me. And he said, Hearken, O people, every one of you. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah went up to Ramoth-Gilead. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah went up to Ramoth-Gilead. And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself and go into battle, but you put on your robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself and went into battle. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself, and enter into the battle, but put thou on thy robes. And the king of Israel disguised himself, and went into the battle. Now the king of Syria had commanded the 32 captains of his chariots, saying, Fight with no one small or great, but only with the king of Israel. But the king of Syria commanded his 32 captains that had rule over his chariots, saying, Fight neither with small nor great, save only with the king of Israel. So it was, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, Surely it is the king of Israel. Therefore they turned aside to fight against him, and Jehoshaphat cried out. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, Surely it is the king of Israel. And they turned aside to fight against him, and Jehoshaphat cried out. And it happened, when the captains of the chariots saw that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, that they turned back from pursuing him. Now a certain man drew a bow at random, and struck the king of Israel between the joints of his armor. So he said to the driver of his chariot, Turn around and take me out of the battle, for I am wounded. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness, wherefore he said unto the driver of his chariot, Turn thine hand, and carry me out of the host, for I am wounded." The battle increased that day, and the king was propped up in his chariot, facing the Syrians, and died at evening. The blood ran out from the wound onto the floor of the chariot. And the battle increased that day, and the king was stayed up in his chariot against the Syrians, and died at even, and the blood ran out of the wound into the midst of the chariot. Then, as the sun was going down, a shout went throughout the army, saying, "Every man to his city, and every man to his own country." And there went a proclamation throughout the host about the going down of the sun, saying, "Every man to his city, and every man to his own country." So the king died, and was brought to Samaria. And they buried the king in Samaria. So the king died, and was brought to Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. Then someone washed the chariot at a pool in Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood while the harlots bathed, according to the word of the Lord which he had spoken. And one washed the chariot in the pool of Samaria, and the dogs licked up his blood, and they washed his armor, according unto the word of the Lord which he spake. Now the rest of the acts of Ahab, and all that he did, the ivory house which he built and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? Now the rest of the acts of Ahab, and all that he did, and the ivory house which he made, and all the cities that he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? So Ahab rested with his fathers. Then Ahaziah his son reigned in his place. So Ahab slept with his fathers, and Ahaziah his son reigned in his stead. Jehoshaphat the son of Asa had become king over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab king of Israel. And Jehoshaphat the son of Asa began to reign over Judah in the 4th year of Ahab king of Israel. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he became king, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name was Azubah the daughter of Shilhi. Jehoshaphat was 35 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Azubah the daughter of Shilhi. And he walked in all the ways of his father Asa. He did not turn aside from them, doing what was right in the eyes of the Lord. Nevertheless the high places were not taken away, for the people offered sacrifices and burned incense on the high places. And he walked in all the ways of Asa his father, he turned not aside from it, doing that which was right in the eyes of the Lord. Nevertheless the high places were not taken away, for the people offered and burnt incense yet in the high places. Also Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel. And Jehoshaphat made peace with the king of Israel. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, the might that he showed, and how he made war, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Now the rest of the acts of Jehoshaphat, and his might that he shewed, and how he warred, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And the rest of the perverted persons, who remained in the days of his father Asa, he banished from the land. And the remnant of the Sodomites, which remained in the days of his father Asa, he took out of the land. There was then no king in Edom, only a deputy of the king. There was then no king in Edom, a deputy was king. Jehoshaphat made merchant ships to go to Ophir for gold, but they never sailed, for the ships were wrecked at Ezion-Geber. Jehoshaphat made ships of Tharshish to go to Ophir for gold, but they went not, for the ships were broken at Ezion-Geber. Then Ahaziah the son of Ahab said to Jehoshaphat, "Let my servants go with your servants in the ships." But Jehoshaphat would not. Then said Ahaziah the son of Ahab unto Jehoshaphat, "Let my servants go with thy servants in the ships." But Jehoshaphat would not. And Jehoshaphat rested with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father. Then Jehoram his son reigned in his place. And Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Jehoram his son reigned in his stead. Ahaziah the son of Ahab became king over Israel in Samaria in the 17th year of Jehoshaphat king of Judah, and reigned 2 years over Israel. Ahaziah the son of Ahab began to reign over Israel in Samaria the 17th year of Jehoshaphat king of Judah, and reigned 2 years over Israel. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father and in the way of his mother and in the way of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who had made Israel sin. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in the way of his mother, and in the way of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. For he served Baal and worshipped him, and provoked the Lord God of Israel to anger, according to all that his father had done. For he served Baal, and worshipped him, and provoked to anger the Lord God of Israel, according to all that his father had done. Matthew 23. Then Jesus spoke to the multitudes and to his disciples. Then spake Jesus to the multitude, and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Therefore whatever they tell you to observe, that observe and do, but do not do according to their works, for they say, and do not do. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say, and do not. For they bind heavy burdens, hard to bear, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do to be seen by men. They make their phylacteries broad and enlarge the borders of their garments. But all their works they do for to be seen of men, they make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge the borders of their garments. They love the best places at feasts, the best seats in the synagogues. And love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues. Greetings in the marketplaces, and to be called by men, Rabbi, Rabbi. And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But you, do not be called Rabbi, for one is your teacher, the Christ, and you are all brethren. But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. Do not call anyone on earth your father, for one is your Father, he who is in heaven. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. And do not be called teachers, for one is your teacher, the Christ. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. But he who is greatest among you shall be your servant. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. And whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for you neither go in yourselves, nor do you allow those who are entering to go in. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayers. Therefore you will receive greater condemnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer, therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you travel land and sea to win one proselyte, and when he is won, you make him twice as much a son of hell as yourselves. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Woe to you, blind guides, who say, Whoever swears by the temple, it is nothing, but whoever swears by the gold of the temple, he is obliged to perform it. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, Whosoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Fools and blind! For which is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctifies the gold? Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gold, or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? And, whoever swears by the altar, it is nothing, but whoever swears by the gift that is on it, he is obliged to perform it. And, whosoever shall swear by the altar, it is nothing, but whosoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Fools and blind! For which is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifies the gift? Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift, or the altar that sanctifieth the gift? Therefore he who swears by the altar, swears by it and by all things on it. Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, sweareth by it, and by all things thereon. He who swears by the temple, swears by it and by him who dwells in it. And whoso shall swear by the temple, sweareth by it, and by him that dwelleth therein. And he who swears by heaven, swears by the throne of God and by him who sits on it. And he that shall swear by heaven, sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth thereon. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have neglected the weightier matters of the law, justice and mercy and faith. These you ought to have done, without leaving the others undone. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Blind guides, who strain out a gnat and swallow a camel. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat, and swallow a camel. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you cleanse the outside of the cup and dish, but inside they are full of extortion and self-indulgence. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Blind Pharisee, first cleanse the inside of the cup and dish, that the outside of them may be clean also. Thou blind Pharisee, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs which indeed appear beautiful outwardly, but inside are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye are like unto whited sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanness. Even so you also outwardly appear righteous to men, but inside you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Even so ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Because you build the tombs of the prophets and adorn the monuments of the righteous. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Because ye build the tombs of the prophets, and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous. And say, if we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Therefore you are witnesses against yourselves that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves, that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill up, then, the measure of your fathers' guilt. Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers. Serpents, brood of vipers! How can you escape the condemnation of hell? Ye serpents, ye generation of vipers, how can ye escape the damnation of hell? Therefore, indeed, I send you prophets, wise men, and scribes, some of them you will kill and crucify, and some of them you will scourge in your synagogues and persecute from city to city. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets, and wise men, and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them shall ye scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city. That on you may come all the righteous blood shed on the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Berechiah, whom you murdered between the temple and the altar. That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zechariah son of Berechiah, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Assuredly, I say to you, all these things will come upon this generation. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the one who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together, as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets, and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. See! Your house is left to you desolate. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. For I say to you, you shall see me no more till you say, Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Proverbs 6. My son, if you become surety for your friend, if you have shaken hands in pledge for a stranger. My son, if thou be surety for thy friend, if thou hast stricken thy hand with a stranger, you are snared by the words of your mouth, you are taken by the words of your mouth. Thou art snared with the words of thy mouth, thou art taken with the words of thy mouth. So do this, my son, and deliver yourself, for you have come into the hand of your friend, go and humble yourself, plead with your friend. Do this now, my son, and deliver thyself, when thou art come into the hand of thy friend, go, humble thyself, and make sure thy friend. Give no sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Give not sleep to thine eyes, nor slumber to thine eyelids. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Deliver thyself as a roe from the hand of the hunter, and as a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise. Which, having no captain, overseer, or ruler. Which having no guide, overseer, or ruler. Provides her supplies in the summer, and gathers her food in the harvest. Provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man. A worthless person, a wicked man, walks with a perverse mouth. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winks with his eyes, he shuffles his feet, he points with his fingers. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Perversity is in his heart, he devises evil continually, he sows discord. Frowardness is in his heart, he deviseth mischief continually, he soweth discord. Therefore his calamity shall come suddenly, suddenly he shall be broken without remedy. Therefore shall his calamity come suddenly, suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things the Lord hates, yes, 7 are an abomination to him. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil. An heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. A false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. My son, keep your father's command, and do not forsake the law of your mother. My son, keep thy father's commandment, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon your heart, tie them around your neck. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. When you roam, they will lead you, when you sleep, they will keep you, and when you awake, they will speak with you. When thou goest, it shall lead thee, when thou sleepest, it shall keep thee, and when thou awakest, it shall talk with thee. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law a light, reproofs of instruction are the way of life. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. To keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a harlot a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. Can a man take fire to his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot coals, and his feet not be seared? Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burned? So is he who goes in to his neighbor's wife, whoever touches her shall not be innocent. So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he is starving. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. Yet when he is found, he must restore sevenfold. He may have to give up all the substance of his house. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold, he shall give all the substance of his house. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding, he who does so destroys his own soul. But whoso committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding, he that doeth it destroyeth his own soul. Wounds and dishonor he will get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. For jealousy is a husband's fury, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will accept no recompense, nor will he be appeased though you give many gifts. He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts.